Hey everybody, welcome to I Am Vibrant Thursday. I had a little tech issue here, so welcome. Thank you for being here. As you come in, tell me where you are, what you're up to, what are you creating today, because you are a powerful creator. And I'm going to talk today about how and why to stop making the people in our lives guess. Like, take them off pause, take them off the guessing mode, because guess what? They will guess wrong. If we don't express what we're actually feeling and what we actually want, the people in our lives can't figure it out. And when we set ourselves up to be waiting for or expecting that they could figure it out, then it's really a setup for us, right? It's a setup for frustration. It's a setup for feeling irritated. It's a setup for not understanding what's happening or what's going on. And it doesn't feel good. And as you know, life is meant to be enjoyed and you are meant to feel good. So I'm just going to, looking at my wild hair today, I'm going to, all right, I'm going to wait and see who's coming in here, because this is really an important topic that affects our happiness on a daily basis, because our life is largely our relationships. I believe we're actually here in our human experience to have relationship and to engage in relationship. And when those relationships feel difficult, or we feel like it creates difficult situations, that only hurts ourselves, right? That only brings us down. Vibrationally, emotionally down. And here's the thing, we make choices. So we can choose to operate in a way that sets us up for that, or we can choose to really be proactive and communicate so well that we never leave other people in our lives guessing, and therefore we never have to be faced with those frustrations when they don't do what we thought they were going to do, or when there's a miscommunication. So that's what I'm here to talk about today on I Am Vibrant Thursday. So I Am Vibrant Thursday, you may know, if this is your first time joining us, we're here to build emotional capacity. I'm Leah Lund. I'm the creator of One Whole Health. I'm a brain health coach, but an emotional capacity coach also. And emotional capacity is everything. The quality of your emotions is actually the quality of your life. You attract what you feel. So are you having the emotion that you want to have? Because whatever it is what the quality of your life is. So it's really time. Today's session together is an opportunity to check in and notice, where are you making the people in your life guess what you're thinking? Guess what you're wanting or needing. Guess what you mean. Because when we do that, we actually put ourselves and them in a really difficult situation, because nobody likes to be trying to guess, right? And it's just not necessarily. Yet I see this all the time. I see this all the time where an individual, and I'll say women because I coach women. So I see women hoping the man will understand, without ever actually communicating clearly, hoping that the men will understand, or hoping their mother will understand, or hoping their child will understand. But secretly hoping that somebody will understand is disempowering. Taking good steps for clear communication, stop it, the guess game, like stopping, making them guess. This is empowering, and it feels good to you, and it actually feels good to them too. But I'm here to talk about you. So it feels best to you because there's no longer any mystery. You're not waiting to see how somebody's going to react. You know exactly what you're dealing with. So I'm going to share an example with you. A member of our community right now, our tribe, is having a relationship challenge with a guy that she's dating. And she's getting really frustrated because when they make plans, he keeps her waiting. And nobody likes to be kept waiting, right? And go ahead as you come in. Hi. Say hi and tell me where you're coming from. And tell me what relationships and situations are you not at ease with? What feels like tension to you? Because we want to get to the root of that, because emotional capacity is figuring out how to handle the most difficult things in life and do so with ease and do so without it affecting you. Because at the end of the day, these tense situations, my mission is that you find this way to not have them be so tense, because when tense situations occur, it's stress in the body. The brain doesn't know the difference between a tense situation, a difficult person, a difficult situation, and like a car accident on the freeway. The brain doesn't know the difference. It responds the same. It puts out all those stress chemicals into our body, and vibrationally, we are all energy. Vibrationally, it lowers our vibration. So learning to handle people and relationships and communication is essential to our happiness and essential to our health and well-being. So let me go back to this woman in our community that's really frustrated because the guy she's dating, they make plans and then he keeps her waiting, and then she gets frustrated, and then she makes it mean a lot of things about her, right? She attaches meaning. Well, I must not be enough. He must not like me. He must have someone else, like all these thoughts. And she's waiting. She's stuck in spin cycle for hours, sometimes like 3 hours at least. I think she's waited. So we did a deep dive into, well, how was the communication before this situation of you waiting for him for 3 hours ever occurred? So we did a deep dive into her conversation, and it turns out what she actually said to him was, Thursday's my day off if you want to come over to my house. And she stopped there. Thursday's my day off if you want to come over. Okay. What she really meant to say was, Thursday's my day off. Could we spend the day together? Let's make a plan. See the difference there? But she didn't even realize that she set herself up for this tension and this frustration, because she just said, all she communicated was that Thursday's my day off if you want to come over. And she let him guess what she meant by that. See the difference there? She left him guessing. And ladies, we have to learn that men do not think like we do, and men vice versa. Women do not think like you do. So when we leave things up to guessing, it's an invitation for conflict and misunderstanding. So really, she left herself open to the frustration and the disappointment by assuming he would know what she meant by saying, Thursday's my day off if you want to come over. So she could have been so much clearer. She could have been so much clearer and said what she actually meant, and it would have served her, and she would have felt better, and it actually would have served him too, because I'm sure he doesn't feel great about what happened. I don't know that for a fact because I'm not coaching him, but I'm sure he would have felt better had they been on the same page. So it's a win-win. It's a feel-good when we communicate really clearly. But she didn't. She left this guy guessing, and she assumed he would know what she meant. So what she meant was, I'm off Thursday. I'd like to spend time with you. Can we do that? What time is good? Let's confirm. That's actually what she meant, right? And I think especially for women, I experience this and see this a lot with the women that I coach. We hesitate saying what we actually want. Maybe we don't think it's possible. Maybe we have mental patterns that have been formed over seeing people disappoint us, or early childhood situations, maybe even our parents disappointed us. So we have this idea locked in our head, this belief, this subconscious belief that we can't just say what we mean and what we want and have people positively respond to it. But the problem with that is it actually creates exactly the opposite. It creates a situation where we almost can't be happy because we don't tell the people in our lives what we want. We hide it. We expect them to figure it out, and then we're disappointed that they don't. That's a setup. That is not at all fair. So she could have said, I'm off on Thursday. I'd like to spend the day together. Can we do that? What time is good for you? She didn't. Now, you might be thinking, I'm sure ladies listening in are thinking, well, no, that guy should have known. He left her hanging. he should have known what she meant. But actually, that's not the point, because really the point is we can take responsibility for our own feelings, and by being clear with our communication and not relying on inference. Had she been clearer, even in the worst case scenario, even if the guy was leading her on or something and he didn't want to show that day, or he couldn't for some reason, or whatever it is, it just didn't work out for him. Had she been clearer, he may or may not have shown up on time, but what I can say for sure is that she would know what she's dealing with, and she wouldn't have this inexplicable tension over something that's uncertain for her. She would have created certainty for herself, and certainty always makes us feel good. We can't always have certainty in life. There are many things that are not certain, but this would have been like a yes or a no, right? So there would have been certainty that's very possible, but by not being clear, she put herself in a position of uncertainty and disappointment. Relationships can be really hard, and they can be a source of great stress to us. And this is why I teach all of our members how to say what they mean in an effective way, because that actually improves our relationships, their relationships. So this is an important thing to practice. I'm going to share it. It's from Marshall Rosenfield, and he uses this. He created something called nonviolent communication, and he uses this with warring gangs, tribal wars in undeveloped countries. So it's such a powerful tool of communication. It even works in those situations, but it works in a one-on-one relationship situation as well. And it's called nonviolent communication. And don't let the name throw you. I've actually had clients say, you know, and I'm just answering a text here, or answering a message. I've had clients say, oh, but our communication isn't violent. No, violence is the end result, right? It's the worst extreme of poor communication, but it actually starts out in the same place. It starts out with us not being clear. So there's 4 simple steps to nonviolent communication, and they are effective whether you're talking with a warring tribe or whether you're talking with your husband. It all works. It's all effective. And the steps are stating your observation, then stating how it made you feel, because it's really important to acknowledge our feelings. Stating your need. We all have basic needs, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We all have them: safety, security, money, food, shelter. We have basic human needs. So stating that versus denying it, and then asking a request of what you hope this person would be able to give you. So try this the next time that you find you're in a difficult conversation, or that conversation communication has gone awry. Instead of reacting, which is our negative bias of our brain, we have a negative bias that, you know, we think about protection first and safety first. But if you're not actually in danger physically or even emotionally, then instead pause and try communicating in a way that's very clear, that doesn't leave anybody guessing. So you can say, here's what, Carol's asking, repeat the steps, I'm assuming. So the steps are observation, how you felt, feeling, your basic human need, and then your request. So the steps are the steps. They work whether it's a country versus country or a person versus person. And let's actually get rid of the verses, right? Let's get rid of the verses. We're just trying to all feel good and have a life we enjoy. Them too, that person that might be guessing about what you are trying to communicate. If you communicate it in this format, it is so helpful because they can understand. So for the example that I gave, the member I gave, her example, she could have communicated. She could have said, my day off is Thursday. I'd like to spend the day with you. Do you want to do that, and what time? Right? That would have been super clear. But she didn't. And so after the fact, when she probably still, I know she did, wanted to discuss this, and I understand that, because women especially need resolution to our feelings. So she could have a conversation with him after the fact where she said, here was my observation. My observation is you didn't pick up on what I was trying to say, and or you weren't interested in spending the day with me. Then she could acknowledge her feeling instead of stuffing it down, because whenever we stuff down our feeling, then it wants to come out. It innately wants to come out, and usually comes out in a way that's not beneficial for any kind of productive conversation. So she could say, that made me feel frustrated and disappointed. She could also then say her basic human need is to feel secure. I want to feel secure. I want to know if we have a plan, you're going to follow through, that if we commit to something, it's going to be a commitment. And then lastly, make a request. So her request could be, the next time I say something like, I have a day off and could we spend it together, help me realize that I wasn't being clear. Help me realize that I could have actually said what I mean, and that thing that I meant was, hey, I want to spend the day with you. So you could even just ask, if you're able to, ask me, does that mean you want to spend the day together, and what time? This cuts through all the mental BS, right? This cuts through all the inference, all of the putting people on hold, all of the having people guess what we mean. It's totally direct. When I've shared this with clients and they start to apply it, even with their children, it's actually really powerful with their children. I've heard, they've told me things like, oh my God, I never knew it was that simple. It was that simple. I could actually just say what I'm thinking. I'm like, yeah, actually that's preferred. That's more beneficial. That helps build a real solid relationship when we say what we're thinking versus say all these things and leave another person guessing and hope they infer, and then also have a judgment. Let's be honest, have a judgment about them if they don't infer what we actually meant. We don't have to go on that circle, that monkey mind circle. We can actually just say what we mean. So practice it today. I'd love to hear how and where and when the situations that you apply it. Leave it in the comments below. This is life-changing. If you take it to heart and you apply it, it's completely life-changing. So let me know how it goes. Stop having people be guessing. Give yourself the permission to say what you actually mean, and you'll feel better. They'll feel better. It's a win-win-win. Have a great day, everybody.